Tonight I'm going to be talking about Sedicii, the company that I formed, and Krypton, the digital identity network that we're creating, and how we're using a technology known as zero-knowledge proofs to verify people's identities on that network, deliver value to those people, and do that in the form of a digital asset known as a token. And I'll talk a little bit about the economics of the token and how we build and incentivize people to engage with that network, so that ultimately everybody is going to come out a winner, hopefully. So it's about Krypton, the technology that we've created, the zero-knowledge proofs, and how all that hooks together to make success for everybody.
Well, yeah, thanks very much for coming tonight. It's the launch event for South East Crypto-Coast, which is a meetup that is focused on building a blockchain community in the southeast of Ireland. My name is Kearns. I am co-founder of Tucker.io. We're a financial technology company. We're based here in Boxworks. And Crypto-Coast, just a bit about them first. What they are is a collective of creative, technical and pioneering companies in the crypto space who've got together with one mission, and the mission is to extend and develop the blockchain ecosystem right across Ireland. And their initial focus is on developing that hub, along the southeast coast of Ireland. So they're creating clusters of companies that are startups that are focused in on crypto technology. And the first cluster is in Dún Laoghaire, and that's going to develop down along the coast through Wicklow, Wexford and onto Waterford, and hopefully we'll all be part of that as it grows as well. I suppose without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Eddie. Eddie Heffernan is from Blockchain Association of Ireland. He is a software engineer with 25 years experience in industry. You've worked in various different roles, Eddie, isn't that right? And you are committee member for Blockchain Association of Ireland.
Yeah.
So you're going to give us a bit of an overview of what you guys do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. My name is Eddie Heffernan. I'm a software developer. Have been for quite a while, too long probably. And I got involved with the Blockchain Association about 15 months ago. So the Blockchain Association has been going on for about just over 18 months. It was co-founded by Ruben Godfrey, who was with the Crypto-Coast, as Justin said. A couple of guys basically got together, had a discussion and said that they decided that they needed to set up an association to basically promote and sort of advance blockchain in the country. So I got involved, as I say, about 14 months ago, and since then I've sort of been moved on to the committee with them. We go around, we do a lot of talks, hold a lot of meetups, primarily in Dublin, but we're moving around the country now as well. Have a couple in Belfast, one in Galway, Limerick. And that's the whole idea, is just to promote, get people talking about this, arrange meetings between people. So there's businesses who are looking for tech advice, there's tech people looking to get into actually working in blockchain technologies. So that's where our remit is. We're a non-profit organisation, and about 3 months ago we rolled in under the Irish Computer Society's umbrella. So we're now part of them. All our membership is now going through them. So we get the benefits of all of their extended memberships. And currently this year our focus is primarily on education. So we're putting together at the moment a developer training course, and we're also, I suppose, expanding our work with members to help them to reach out and connect with other members from business point of view and technology point of view. And that's primarily what we're about. And that's our focus for this year, is going to be primarily on education and certification and things like that, to try and build up a developer base within the country. That's one thing that we keep hearing about, is the lack of technical people who are here to help businesses kick off. So that's what we're about.
So first question for yourself, Eddie, I'm going to direct you to. So Eddie, just from your perspective, how do you feel the reputation is for Ireland stands on an international level when it comes to blockchain and cryptocurrency, and is this something you have visibility on when you go to conferences overseas? I know you were in the US recently. Mm-hmm. Is that something how do you think we rank, and what do we need to do to improve it?
I think internationally we actually are regarded very well. Probably behind Switzerland and Dubai to an extent, for different reasons. But from a technology point of view, we're actually regarded very highly. I was in New Orleans a few weeks ago at a Collision conference. I spoke to a lot of people at that, and the response to Ireland in general was very, very good. The fact that we have so many of the largest tech companies based in Ireland is a huge benefit. So everyone knows Ireland. Everyone knows that we have a burgeoning blockchain ecosystem in the country. So it's really well regarded. I actually had a meeting earlier this week with a Chinese businessman who wants to do a project in Ireland. Can't talk too much about it. It's not an actual business venture, but it's an educational aspect. And he wants to do that in Ireland because of our reputation. So he reached out to us about it. So we're actually very well regarded. I think we're better regarded internationally than we probably see ourselves at the moment. I think we have a bit of an issue internally with the country, with our attitude towards its visibility. I think there's a lot of companies that are doing a lot of work on blockchain technologies, but they're not advertising it, they're not talking about it. So there's this almost air of secrecy about it, whereas international companies or international people see us actually very favourably. So I think our reputation is very good.
Excellent, it's good to hear. And obviously from a technology point of view, we have an international recognition, but it's great to hear that from blockchain we also, it's growing. It's more of a question here for the techies in the audience, maybe directors at Peter. So from your perspective, there's a lot of people here who are technical who probably have an interest in starting working with blockchain.
Yep.
What resources would you direct them to start working with blockchain?
It's a good question. I'd say don't just go and dive in and try writing some learning Solidity on Ethereum, start writing some code. I think the important thing is probably to understand all of the underlying technologies around blockchain. Myself and Eddie were actually talking earlier, and we were kind of saying it's funny, but one of the reasons I'm such a big fan of this technology is that all the pieces we're laying around, all the bits have been known for years. It's like the Lego blocks were scattered on the floor, and someone really smart came along and assembled them all together to give us the blockchain. So I'd say go and do some background understanding of all the bits that fit together there. So go and learn about the Byzantine generals and those kinds of problems. Understand what hashes are. Most people will probably, the developers understand what a hash is, but do you understand what a Merkle tree is? So go understand about Merkle trees, how they fit together within a block. Understand how blocks link together, and then understand what a consensus algorithm is and why miners work in terms of consensus algorithms, and really dig into all of the other stuff around different consensus algorithms. Like Ripple has a different consensus algorithm to blockchain, to Ethereum. Have a look at like the newer stuff like hash graphs and so on, but understand it in the context of the existing crypto technology. And there's quite a lot of good resources out there to go and understand this. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You don't have to be a cryptologist to understand this. It's simple enough to understand. And once you get your head around that, then go and look at the entities that are blockchain and see how it was really smart to assemble them in the certain way that they are. And then the emergent properties then come from assembling those technologies in that way.
Just in terms of where Ireland is positioned, in terms of, do we have any unique opportunities for applications of blockchain technology that other countries might not have? Is there any unique sector or application of technology that we have an advantage over different nations? I think and that's to all you guys if you have any.
I think there's certain industries that are in Ireland that would benefit probably from it. Agriculture, the agri-supply chain or supply chains in general. We, as a small country, we tend, obviously we can move quite quickly on things. We have, as I said earlier, a lot of the big tech companies are here, so we have quite a lot of just that ecosystem is here. A lot of people have left the likes of Google and Facebook to set up their own companies. So there's a really, really, really good startup ecosystem in the country. But from an industry point of view, I suppose things like supply chain, agri-supply chain, things like that would really benefit from it.
Do you guys have anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess the other thing to say as well is that there's like the obvious applications of blockchain. I mean, Bitcoin is the poster child. Everyone's thinking about cryptocurrencies and so on. But the scope of the technology is much wider than that. As a services business, we're interested in how we can apply this into organisations that have a need to use blockchain, or maybe don't even know they have a need to use blockchain right now, but that could be, the technology could be applied internally successfully, not as a revenue generation, but as a cost-saving technology within the organisation. And there's huge scope for a services company like ourselves to get involved in projects like that. But also there's scope for entrepreneurs to come along and build products that companies can use internally for cost saving. So what I would say is don't necessarily get blindsided by cryptocurrencies and these kind of like flashy poster children of the industry right now. Think outside the box, think about some of the really dull, boring problems that can be solved by this technology, because that's where a lot of the money is going to be post kind of cryptocurrency explosion.
With all this talk of fractional ownership, tokenized economy, cryptocurrencies, what's it going to take for it to cross the chasm from early adopters to like an early majority?
Personally, I don't think the average person in the street is going to care a jot about what technology is underneath something. What they will care about is, crikey, I can buy something now using an app or something, and it gives me fractional ownership of something, and I can make money on that as an asset. But underneath all of the gizmos and the security and the blockchains, and they won't care. We care because we enjoy it, we're building it. But it'll be all of those new things that start to appear as a consequence of having that technology in place that I think will excite people. And when they realize what new things open up to them, then they will engage.
It'd be a branding exercise.
Yeah, how many years away are we from that?
I don't think we're far away.
Yeah. Cool.
I think it's a question of time and applications. It's people who build applications that are built on blockchain. Most people don't know how the internet works. They don't care. It just works, and they use applications on the internet. I think blockchain is going to be very similar. For the vast majority of the public, they don't care, and they won't know.
I work in data protection, and as you mentioned, the GDPR coming into force just over a week away. The digital age consent being debated in the DAL yesterday, amendments being made starting at 16. I was literally having this conversation this morning in Boxworks about the opportunity for blockchain to be a part of that solution. And here you are talking about it. I think that's really exciting. Providers like Facebook and all these apps that kids are using, and the protocols aren't in place to be able to verify a simple thing like age reliably at the moment. I think that's a huge opportunity just in that niche area.
On that specific point, we've built a demonstrator that we have shown to the government for a Facebook user to be able to confirm the identity of the person on the other side. And it's a question, is this person telling the truth about who they are? Name, date of birth, country of residence, or whatever. And it's a yes they are, no they're not. And you know nothing more about the individual than they've already put on their page, but it's verified against a government record somewhere, using a zero knowledge proof where there's no exchange of information, and it's all around child protection in that scenario, so that the kid, whoever it is, will know that I am talking to a kid or I am talking to someone who's not a kid.